Rare photographs accompanied by clear context and meticulous accuracy. If you enjoy diving into this kind of content, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Villagers frozen as flames devour their homes. Eastern Front, 1944. Communities erased in minutes. Belongings scattered across snow. Women building naval mines in British dockyards during World War I. Taking over dangerous technical work while men fought abroad. 25-foot molasses wave barrels through Boston at 35 miles per hour, 1919. Bizarre disaster kills 21, drowning streets in sticky chaos. A Russian woman births 69 children in 40 years with one husband. Unverified but astonishing fertility record of multiple births. The 7-story building slides 52 feet while workers stay at desks. Phones keep ringing as the office rotates 90 degrees in 1930. Staged Victorian photo shows early anesthesia's experimental era. Women doctors rare at barely 5% of 1890s physicians. German trench walls tower above narrow boards, Western Front, 1916. Miles of networks lock armies into brutal stalemate. Tin cans on barbed wire rattle when touched at night. A simple German alarm system warns of approaching enemies. German World War II. Soldiers in rigid formation, ceremony staged perfectly, reinforcing obedience and loyalty for the camera's eye. Russian prisoners hoist American soldiers high, celebrating liberation. Pure joy after years behind barbed wire finally ends. Danish volunteers secretly ferry Jewish families to Sweden, saving 99% of Denmark's Jews from Nazi persecution. Samson the Shire horse stands 7 feet tall, weighing 1.5 tons, dwarfing workers as history's largest recorded horse. 1,894 warnings. Horse manure will bury city streets soon. Electric vehicles arrive just in time. Crisis averted. Seattle drivers reported thousands of windshield pits in 1954. Mass hysteria. Marks were there all along. Nobody noticed. Circus displays world's heaviest man for paying crowds. His size is tragically common today, reflecting the modern health crisis. Loggers pose with timber stacked higher than a man. 2 horses pull massive load, staged to impress companies. A Florida banker urges neighbors to buy Coca-Cola at $19. Those Depression-era shares transform Quincy into the wealthiest small town. Malcolm Campbell unveils 2,350 horsepower Bluebird car, 1935, pushing land speed record past 280 miles per hour that year. $130,000 safety net strung beneath Golden Gate Bridge. Expensive precaution saves 19 falling workers in the 1930s. Well-dressed African Americans head to church in the 1940s, Chicago. They maintain dignity despite the segregation era. Dog tags representing 58,307 Vietnam soldiers displayed at the library. Each tag honors fallen service members. Otto Frank revisits the attic where the family hid from Nazis. Sole survivor overwhelmed with grief and memories in 1960. Marilyn Monroe sings to American troops in Korea, 1954. Shortly after war ended, bringing joy to soldiers. Queen Elizabeth's coronation ceremony at Westminster Abbey in 1953, beginning of her remarkable 70-year reign. Senator Robert Kennedy addresses supporters around midnight, June 5, 1968. Moments later, assassinated in the Ambassador Hotel kitchen. Plane crash site near Clear Lake, Iowa, photographed on February 3, 1959. Buddy Holly, Valens, Big Bopper, died tragically. Underwater diver in first photos beneath surface around 1920. Groundbreaking images opened a new world to photography. Test pilot ejects from nosediving plane in 1962. Confused tractor driver watches below as pilot escapes. Parisians navigate flooded streets on wooden walkways during the 1910 flood. The devastating Seine flood lasted months, transforming the city. Parisians used innovative flood vehicles in 1924. Wheeled boat contraptions showed French ingenuity through waterlogged streets. Construction workers sit on 22nd floor ledges playing harmonicas. No safety harnesses risk death for lunch entertainment in 1930. Knocker-up worker taps windows with a stick in 1929 London. Before alarm clocks, people paid others to wake them. Women gather at glamorous Tupperware parties in the 50s. Social events where salespeople demonstrated products became phenomena. Children received UV light treatment listening to the gramophone in 1931. A scene resembling horror was considered beneficial medical treatment. The couple enjoys first ever 3D movie in Paris, 1936. Wearing very different glasses, experiencing groundbreaking cinema technology. Tutankhamun's tomb was discovered in 1922 with an unbroken seal. Surviving 3,000 years, treasures are perfectly preserved inside. Workers reassemble 3,200-year-old Abu Simbel temples in 1968. Moving them inland avoided dam flooding, saved monuments. Dr. Jacobs prepares items for the Crypt of Civilization capsule. Sealed until year 8113, preserves our era. Robin Williams performed Street Mime in Central Park, 1974. Nobody knew the young comedian's future fame and tragedy. 20-year-old Michael Jackson photographed in 1979 before superstardom. Off the Wall would launch global megastar status. 16-year-old Arnold Schwarzenegger in first bodybuilding competition. 1963 began a journey to fame and governorship. Beatles relax at London Airport in 1964. Paul signs autographs during the height of Beatlemania. Marilyn Monroe swims naked filming the final movie. Something's Got to Give, never completed before death. Bruce Lee poses with Master Ip Man in 1960. Student beside teacher years before global icon status. Spielberg and Lucas play with water pistols in Sri Lanka. Two legends act like kids filming together in 1983. Human chess players perform on a massive board in Russia, 1924. The lively, strategic game scene amazed spectators with performance. Zoo director negotiates with an escaped chimpanzee in Belgrade, 1988. The surreal diplomatic scene shows animal intelligence and adaptability. Jazz fans experience pure ecstasy at the Big J. McNeely concert. Completely Lost in Music embodied jazz age passion in 1951. New Yorkers wear hats creating a sea of headwear in 1939, when proper accessories were required, fashion for the public. A British foot guard faints during the Queen's Horse Parade in 1970, collapsing from heat and exhaustion at rigid attention. The patient undergoes tooth extraction in 1892 with restraint. Early dental procedures required physical force instead of anesthesia. Man wears hundreds of live bees covering face in 1930. Dangerous stunts demonstrated either bravery or foolishness. Cirque Molière performer balances impossibly in Paris around 1900, part of an amateur but incredibly skilled circus troupe. Sioux Nation's teepees spread endlessly across the Great Plains. 1800s Dakota Territory photo shows vast communities before relocation. Samson Beaver poses with wife Leah and daughter in 1907. Rare glimpse into indigenous family life during the era. 3 generations of Irish women outside the stone cottage in 1927, representing family and tradition through time in Ireland. People celebrate New Year's Eve, 1938 in Times Square, simpler and more intimate gathering than today's crowds. Women in uniforms hang from bars during 1920 PE class. Exercising in flats showed very different fitness standards. Mary Wallace becomes Chicago's first female bus driver in 1974. Breaking barriers in public transportation opened doors. FBI's enormous fingerprint file system from 1944. Countless records stored in endless cabinet rows before digital. Vincenzo Perugia's apartment after stealing Mona Lisa from Louvre. He hid it here after daring theft. Sweden switched from left side to right side driving September 3, 1967. Caused chaotic traffic scenes throughout the entire country. The 1973 U.S. oil crisis left highways so empty, people picnicked. Deserted streets showed a dramatic impact of fuel shortages. Tennis players compete in the first international Wimbledon match in 1883. A very different scene from today's professional tournaments. Al Capone gets an autograph from a Cubs player. Around 1931, even gangsters were doting fathers. Marine's haunted stare in Hue, 1968, eyes empty after endless urban warfare. Combat pushed him past human limits into pure survival mode. Princess Elizabeth drives an ambulance during World War II. At 18, served as a low-ranking officer, rejecting privilege. Marie Curie works in a barren laboratory wearing full dress. With minimal equipment, pioneering radioactivity research changed science. Thomas Edison's bulky first motion picture camera from 1890. Intricate invention revolutionized entertainment, but hard to understand. Russian photographer Prokudin Gorsky created full-color photos 110 years ago. Using 3 filtered images, pioneered color photography. Disney artists paint by hand on transparent cells. Creating Donald Duck frame by frame required dedication in 1943. IBM transports a 5-megabyte hard drive on a massive truck in 1956. What required enormous space now fits in pockets. Astronauts train underwater with scuba divers in 1988. This simulated weightless conditions experienced in space. Neurologists electrocuted a man's face in 1862, studying facial muscles. Early medical research involved disturbing experimental methods. The patient undergoes electric shock therapy for depression in 1955. A common but unsettling procedure was standard treatment then. Men shoot volunteers wearing bulletproof vests from close range. The dangerous test demonstrated the vest's effectiveness to skeptics. Women paint watch dials with radium without protection. Instructed licking brushes, they ingested deadly radioactive material in 1922. The Eiffel Tower stands partially constructed in July 1888. This shows the iconic landmark's building progress with scaffolding. Seven-story Cliff House resort towers over San Francisco, 1902. 5 years later, it would burn down completely. Technician Charles King performs maintenance inside Big Ben's clock face. A 1957 photo shows the famous tower's true scale. London Bridge overflows with wagons and pedestrians, creating chaos. The pre-car traffic jam era showed transportation challenges. Man stands atop massive whale carcass in 1930 Labrador. Cutting to remove blubber was dangerous, grueling work. The dog sits in a pram attached to the car trunk during the 1934 journey. The baby rides unsecured on the woman's lap for 3 hours. A woman sits under a large hairdryer machine in 1928. Before handheld devices, beauty required industrial equipment. Swim mobile vehicles in 1960 New York allowed cooling off. The mobile pool provided relief during hot summer weather. A train station worker wears a portable phone around neck in 1935. Early mobile devices allowed quick calls before departure. Japan's robotic rickshaw entered the 1981 contest. Traveling 3 miles per hour, carried one passenger slowly. Isaac Seiber rides an ostrich-pulled wagon at a California farm. In 1920, North Dakota, ostriches provided unusual entertainment. Alfred Hitchcock enjoys time with his grandchildren in the snow. The Master of Suspense showed his playful side in 1960. Sean Connery signs coconut for Jamaican girl filming Dr. Number bizarre moment during first Bond movie in 1962. Salvador Dalí walks Pet Ann Teeters through Paris streets. Though unusual, his twisted mustache still stole attention. Bill Clinton photographed with assistant Monica Lewinsky before the scandal. This affair would rock White House forever. The 1980 Video Game Championship shows early competitive gaming, before modern esports and PlayStation technology. Winston Churchill borrowed light from a French soldier in 1944. A casual wartime moment showed his human side. Douglas Fairbanks Jr. playfully holds up Charlie Chaplin in 1918. They promoted Liberty Bonds with this stunt. Mobster Al Capone gets an autograph from a Cubs player. Around 1931, even gangsters were doting fathers. Queen Elizabeth and Marilyn Monroe meet at a movie premiere. Two 30-year-old icons from different worlds in 1956. Young JFK sits with best friend Lem Billings. The future president holds a $7 dog, carefree and unaware.